I'm seeing right this, left that, and really I think by summarizing it up to the biggest common denominator you can see as an easy target, people are missing the point. Neither side is perfect, neither side is pure. Empathetic paranoia becomes martyrs and scapegoats. Practical paranoia believes that there's no one who will ever help you, so you must fight for yourself and yourself alone. Logical paranoia believes that everyone is stupid, and that you have the clearest insights and perspectives on situations. And then emotional paranoia is basically saying, my feelings are reality. When your feelings are reacting to the reality of things. And even then, that itself is only via a second reference point of your own perspective. If you fail to dig into the actual reality, make sure you've got a proper anchor line to it, your own internal reference point can drift further and further and further away from reality, becoming more tightly bound to the feelings that you say are your own identity, when no, those feelings are navigation tools, something to use as a measure of what you value, so that way you don't fucking do damage to yourself. If it was just isolatory, it would be if it was just isolate one community from another, from another, from another, and hit them all against each other, then the world would end up destroyed. You need each part of the whole. You can't just run around saying it's black and white. There's gray and color too. And even the gray and color fight between each other. So you need to recognize all four. Recognize when they overlap and recognize when they move out of the way. Recognize that clarity isn't always clear understanding, but what feels like clarity can be you projecting your own internal model onto the world in a way that at least allows for higher accurate predictions around you. Just because you can understand something from a specific perspective and it's reasonable enough does not mean that you actually understand someone else's reality. And that is the reason why I've been continuing to fight against this neurotic attachment I have towards the Dunstork, because it is that kind of paranoid clarity where I think I see everything that's going on in them when no, I don't. I don't see everything because I can't. I'm not them. Even they don't see everything that's going on in them. It's to have insight about yourself is to fight for yourself. And that is a right that is earned, not just given. It is not automatically handed to you with your assigned role in life. Practicality, acceptability, accuracy, authenticity. All four of these things can overlap in different ways, sometimes creating a entire bowl of confusion that you can get trapped in. And then there's the dome of clarity that people seek to walk on top of. But the real reference point that can acknowledge everything all at once is in the center. That center reference point is the hardest place to get to on a sphere. On a sphere, not a spear, because a spear is a stick with a sharp end, not a fucking orb. part of the reason why I'm still stuck with this attachment to what I understand or what I think I understand the fence stork is because I'm addicted to it, simple as. But that's the reason why I don't feed the addiction. Why I don't use it as an excuse to try and worm my way into their life. No, that is keep me the fuck out of their life. I don't need to know the real person if all that's going to happen is I keep assuming things about them without actually being able to treat them as a person. So instead, I redirect that manic energy into story crafting, depth of perspective, depth of understanding, building up my own perceptions of what it might be like to be that person. Not so as to more clearly and completely understand them to their full depth beyond a level they're comfortable with. No, that would be kind of stupid. I'll admit that my mind's wandered into that space several times throughout the last 4 years, but hey, no one's perfect. No, the point isn't to say, I get you. It may have been my point originally, but at this point, no. It's to refine my own ability to recognize reality and respect it, even when there's a contrast between my belief, my reality, my emotions, and my logic. Tetrahedron. A single looping band wrapped around a tetrahedron. The pressure space in between creating a string of concept. I am slowly learning to accept that darker part of me, but that doesn't mean I will ever act on it in a way where it's not fucking obvious. After all, if I were to do that, I'd probably not live with myself. I'd probably rather die. I'd probably rather die. I can't save the dense stork. I won't save the dense stork. And if anything, I'm at best a fucking challenge for the dense stork to have the option to face if they want to grow as a person. An optional challenge available for as long as this problem remains unsolved internally on my end. At worst, I'm a source of stress. And that's why, even with all the moments where I'm not in a clear state of mind, where I'm not able to see in all 6 directions mentally, between all 6 categories, from dark to bright, from gray to colorful, from confusion to clarity. That's why I make myself obvious. It's the least I can do is not hide where I'm at if I'm going to respect someone. In order for our weakened ego to survive and grow, we can't let another's desire control us. Follow your desires, but do not become slave to those desires. Make them work for you. Redirect their outputs if you can. Live. Because even if this will never happen, even if I don't understand the actual person and I'm just fucking delusional, the reality is they deserve to live their own life. They deserve to have that choice on whether or not they interact with me. Just like how I deserve to have a choice on whether or not I interact with them. Which is why I keep fighting for my own sanity, why I keep fighting to not give in to rash or impulsive actions that could get my head chopped off. Because if I gave in to those actions, I would be abandoning myself. And I don't want that kind of poison of convenience. That just destroys things in the end. It doesn't build them. It just rots the structure down to dust. Also, something I've learned from all the times in which I've drawn stuff out or whatnot, it's when I have strong emotions and a strong feeling that my mind creates a mental image more easily. And it becomes easier for me to draw something out. Which kind of reflects on a detail from some other story. Sure, the story says it's about swordsmanship, but could apply to anything in life. Effort is made manifest when one exerts their whole heart into the actions. To take action on something when my heart's not in it wouldn't be considered true effort. And that's why I'm still practicing, learning how to put true heart into my actions and my efforts. Ah, joy. I've now got other responsibilities to deal with, so this is probably as far as the recording is going to go. Hope it helped you with personal insights or whatever for whoever watches this. Because delusional brain may tell me, oh, the dense stork is watching, the dense stork is watching. No, they aren't. There's 7 billion people on this earth, and the algorithm could very well just be trying to pick and choose. Have a hard time figuring out if there's anyone that is safe for me to be shown to. I've got a pretty abysmal track record so far, and I'm not about to correct it if that means it's fucking keeping me in check. You don't have to be mine, but please be safe. And if you ever do feel like being mine, be earnest about it at least. No half-assed. That just gets everyone hurt.